Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Say it all together, children. Say it all together. Ready? You're guilty.
Guilty.
You're guilty.
Guilty.
You're guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah, it's a bit. Listen, I got to congratulate Donald Trump, because if you would ask me yesterday morning, I would have said there is no way this man can chase this N-word story away from the top of the headlines. And by God, he found a way by nightfall. That's an amazing president.
Nicely done. You tweeted, I admit, around count 26, it got funny.
I was watching, very serious, every count, and I wrote it down. Count 26 is when I went, ah! That was it. That was it. Up until then, I was very adult and professional. You guys, this is the first time an American president has been found guilty of a felony this year. Right. Can you believe it? First time all year. Sam Alito is flying Alito's flying an upside-down Confederate flag at all of his houses, and it took all day to realize it was upside down because it's Confederate and they're stupid.
Yeah, there
go
you go.
On.
Okay.
Yes. We're all Alito's neighbors now, people. We're all Alito's neighbors.
All your threads, you said, I hate when the media stereotypes all convicted felons as being like Donald Trump. Unfair.
Look, I'm just saying, every time I have ever paid off a porn star to lie about having sex with me, every time I've done it while I was running for president, I reported the expense. I'm not like him. I'm not like him.
By the way, because you're a liberal helper. You said at least now Trump can go back to Florida and be with his wife.
Isn't that nice? Oh, what a closing argument from Todd Blanche. Can we take a moment and just say how brilliant it was for Donald Trump's lawyer to say, don't trust Michael Cohen because Donald Trump hires terrible liars to be his lawyer. What a great closing argument for counsel. And then Man Baby Trump says he has every opportunity to testify. Man Baby says he will testify.
Right.
Man Baby chooses not to testify. And then Man Baby with a full diaper says, I wasn't allowed to give my side of the blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, porn star.
Your Trump impression is morphing.
It's devolving. It's devolving. We'll never know how many marriages have been saved by porn. But a porn star, they have just saved our democracy. That's all.
The other big story is this pathetic excuse for a party. Ted Cruz tweeted, this is a dark day for America, blah, blah, blah. And you just said, don't feel bad, Ted. Maybe Trump will attack your wife again, and that'll cheer you up.
Right, it could happen. It could happen. But these Republicans, I'm worried about them, Steph. They don't like law and order, and I'm worried that they're really upset about this. But I will say I'm very impressed. The Republican Party today has come out for criminal justice reform, and I never thought I would see it happen. But they are now arguing that convicted felons should get classified briefings. So you go, guys. You go.
What was I going to say? You know, I'm with Jimmy Kimmel, who said we should replace the Supreme Court with these 12 jurors, right? But, you know, Senator Durbin said Justice Alito's response clearly demonstrates why the Supreme Court needs an enforceable code of conduct. And Bruce Bartlett said, if only you knew someone who could hold hearings and sponsor legislation about this.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, this should empower us, John, what happened yesterday. We, the people. You know, as Eric Swalwell and who was Tristan Snell said, this is we the people. This is pressure from we the people that this happened yesterday.
Look, let's remember, every time power goes back into the hands of citizens, look at Roe v. Wade. We've seen in every special election what happens. All this was yesterday was the first 12 people who got to vote in 2024 for president, because our election is not going to be between Trump and Biden. Our election is between Trump and not Trump. Our election is between everything Trump represents and something better and different. Our election is deciding if we want Trump to go back to the White House or to go to the big house. It's the ultimate reality show voting system. We should be able to do it on your phones. And that's how we got to sell it. Do you want to see Trump in jail or Trump in the White House?
Yeah.
I've already seen Trump in the White House. I don't need a repeat. I'll try the jail option this time.
Yeah, Al Franken said this is a great day because justice prevailed. Trump was found guilty on all 34 counts. A sad day because we have a former president who committed several crimes. If this had gotten out before the 2016 election, if they hadn't paid off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, I believe we would have avoided a Trump presidency. The job is now to prevent another Trump presidency.
Can I take issue with that, by the way? Because
Yeah.
I read that. I love Al.
Yeah.
It is not a sad day
No,
because of President.
not for me.
No, it is a sad day. It's a sad day because ringers on the Supreme Court are not allowing this president to be held accountable
Yeah.
for his crimes.
Yeah.
It's a sad day because a millionaire at birth defendant can get to hire his own judge who will slow walk the case in
Yeah.
Florida. Those are reasons why it's a sad day. Yesterday was a happy day to see that we are a little bit less of a banana republic oligarch society. The Trumpers all think that they just won something because the verdict is going to help him win and help with the fundraiser, blah, blah, blah. It was so moving for people.
Yeah.
Because we've watched this guy commit tax fraud, insurance fraud, bank fraud, charity fraud, education fraud. We've seen him lie to investors, lie to his donors, not pay his contractors. We've seen this guy take 9/11 funds, demonize undocumented immigrants while he's hiring them. This guy has raped people. I remember him taking out his girlfriend to humiliate the mother of his children in front of the paparazzi every night. All the racism, the birtherism, the
Yeah.
Central Park Five, and the 10 counts of obstruction in the Mueller report. He just glided by. 2 impeachments. The Republicans let him skate. He's always
Alvin
walking
Bragg
these
put a lot of
raindrops.
people to shame yesterday.
It's not just Alvin Bragg. This year
Yeah.
it's Alvin Bragg. It's Tish James.
Yep. Yep.
It's E. Jean Carroll. And I think it's so moving to see how moved people are that finally
Yeah.
we're seeing a little bit of accountability in
Yeah.
the society.
As Glenn
because a lot of
Kirshner-
us are so gaslit, we thought it would never happen.
As Glenn Kirshner always says, someone had to take the maiden legal voyage, and
Yeah.
we owe Alvin Bragg
That's it.
really a debt of gratitude. I mean, it comes down to what you said, I can't control what my wife does with flags, but I can force your wife to be pregnant against her will. I mean, this is what we're up against, and this Christian nationalism. I picked out this story, and I knew you would be on it. Joni Ernst saying, by welcoming Gazan refugees into our homeland, Biden's on a fool's errand. And you said, nobody tell Joni Ernst about the New Testament or the Old Testament because, boy, she's going to hate both of them.
There's
And
one
someone else
line,
said,
I mean,
evangelical
go ahead.
Christians hate it when progressive Catholics out-Jesus them. Right? I mean,
Look, you don't need to believe in anything. You can just use the Bible. You don't need to believe in the Bible as literal fact to use it against these flock-fleecing Pharisee frauds. But in the case of Joni Ernst, the only commandment in the entire Bible, Old Testament or New Testament, about immigration or borders or refugees is the commandment to welcome the stranger. In Leviticus, which the homophobe's favorite book, Jesus himself does it in Matthew 25. The commandment to welcome the stranger. They do not get to call themselves Christians when they violently legislate against what is in the Bible. And can I just say one thing about Alito, please?
Yes.
Look, my wife is fond of flags. She flies all the flags. She's a flag hag too. I get how it is. You people don't understand what it's like to be married to one of these flag hags. Leave Alito alone. Okay, he didn't raise those insurrection flags on his flagpole. That was his wife. He had no say. He had no agency. He can't control it, okay? It's his flagpole, but he's lost his autonomy. Do you understand? He has no choice in what happened on his flagpole.
I see what you're
It
doing.
should be his flagpole, his choice, you monsters.
and that's why you go to sexyliberal.com immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, get the VIP package.
Pride
You meet that in
weekend.
person.
He said flag.
He
Can I say
did.
one more? Can I just say one
Yes,
more thing?
sure.
I'm just thinking about Eric Boehlert
Yeah.
and Mojo Nixon and Midwin Charles
Yeah.
and all of the wonderful progressive resistors who did so much to give me so much hope, who weren't there yesterday
Yeah.
for the first of what will hopefully be many convictions. And I want to thank everybody who didn't make it this far to see Donald Trump be called a convicted felon at the beginning of
Yeah.
every sentence.
Yeah, that's you gave me a tear in my eye, but yeah, I may not make it to the promised land with you, but you know what? They were all part of what built this moment. I mean, this was a we the people moment. By the way, so just one more Jesus thing. Someone named Jackson said, haters say to me, how could you as a pastor support Trump? My response is, how could I not support Trump as a pastor? And you said, look what can be achieved when you never, ever, ever actually read the Jesus parts. MAGA Christianity, using the gospel as toilet paper since 2015. Thank you.
People should read that thread because this guy claims to be a pastor for Trump, and he came after me all day, demanding petulantly to be on my show to debate me, because you're a beta, and I'm like, a beta? Isn't that what Jesus called the meek?
Yeah.
The beta.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'll tell you what, man, you're being abusive to me on the internet. I'll put you on my show. Just tell me one actual teaching of Jesus, chapter and verse,
Yep.
Donald Trump has ever fought for,
Yeah,
and then you can come on my show.
And then did you say who's going to inherit the earth now, bitch? Me. Me.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. Could not could not do it. They
I
have
haven't-
not read the Bible.
speaking
It's
of-
their camouflage.
Speaking of Martin Luther King, I have a dream. Chris, you remember my dream. Kansas City, sexy liberal.
Yep.
I want Harrison Butker to come debate you on Catholicism, on the
I'd
Bible.
love it. Anytime.
I challenge him right now to come debate John Fugelsang at Kansas City, sexy liberal.
I think there is an outside chance that might happen.
Maybe someday. Could happen.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's kind of in the middle of the season, though, so maybe not.
Screw him. Okay. John also tweeted, Mark Burnett has a tape of Trump saying the N-word, but won't this hurt Trump with the millions and millions of black people who the media tells me can't wait to vote for a racist?
That story. That story yesterday. I was like, the big debate over whether it's true, and the whole thing just shows how it's white racists who frame the whole debate about what racism is, Yeah. This guy, the birtherism, the Central Park Five, the S-hole countries. Nixon indicted this guy and his dad for being too racist. I could go on all day. Charlottesville and the very fine people, and he loves the Confederacy. He was fired from his own reality show for being racist. But we now live in this dynamic where it's not officially racism unless a white person hears another white person say the N-word on tape. Like, we don't need to hear a tape of Trump saying the N-word to know he's racist. We have 50 years of hard evidence.
Yeah.
But the media keeps resetting the whole game, saying, oh, maybe this will be proof he's racism. And so that's why it just made me crazy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sexyliberal.com. It is the only way
Yep.
to save not just democracy, but the world.
The world.
I'm
We're
wearing
saving
the
it.
merch. We have new merch.
You are invited to Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour. It's the political comedy event of the year, and it's coming to a city near you. Join Stephanie Miller, the queen of progressive talk radio, along with Hal Sparks, John Fugelsang, and the comedy duo Frangela, mocking all the fascists and trolls for a tour that is hilarious, inspiring, and deeply offensive to just the right people. It's an all-new tour with all-new guests and a side-splitting evening of stand-up. Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour.